Good afternoon, guys. Sorry I can't be there with you. I'm gonna show you how to glaze your ceramic masks. When you get your mask, you're gonna have the front area that will show all of your texture and maybe pieces of clay that you've added. And then the back that should have your name, name and class on there. For the glazing, you're gonna notice that at the tables, you're gonna have different jars of glaze. Each of the glazes are different colors. If you want to know what color it's going to come out as, look at the label, okay? The color of that swoosh on the label of the ones that say Teacher's Palette, that's what the glaze is gonna be like after we bake it. So even though when it dries, this glaze looks very light, after we bake it, it's gonna be that darker color. The only difference is if you have a bottle, if it's not Teacher's Palette, you have to be very careful and actually read the name on it. I might even put a piece of purple tape around this bottle just to remind you. Actually, I'm gonna do that, okay? So in the photos, you might see that after we bake glaze, it changes color. But in order to prepare your glaze, you're gonna take a brush. The brush is gonna be connected to this color. So if this table has this color and this brush, you don't move the brushes around, you leave it with that color, you move to the next color and there'll be brushes there. In order to glaze it properly, you have to add 3 layers. And I'm gonna paint it and watch how quickly this dries. That is not sped up, that's real time. Look how quickly that dries. The reason it dries so quickly is that this ceramic acts as almost like a filter, soaking the water through. At least that's, and even like some ancient civilizations use ceramic pots to help filter water. In some groups today, I've actually seen a real ceramic water filter. So this one is dry. I'm gonna go ahead and add my second layer. This layer does take longer to dry, but look, I'm not making it very thick. It will take a bit longer to dry. While you're waiting for it to dry, maybe I want black in another area or another area. You can put the same color elsewhere while you're waiting for this to dry. And look at that, that's already dry. If you're finding it takes too long to dry, it may mean that you're making the glaze too thick. So you don't need to do it as thick. So I'm brushing my third layer on. And now with this third layer, I don't have to wait for it to dry. I can just go ahead to another color for another area, and then this will dry on its own. Some students want to really play around with the texture. So I have this leaf green, so when it bakes, it's gonna be this dark color, not this light color. With a clean brush, I can actually maybe dab a little bit of another color on top. Okay, I'm not making this one thick because I already have my 3 layers of glaze. Okay, here's some other students' projects who have done the glazing. It's not been baked yet, but then once we bake it, you're gonna see that the colors become very bright. Okay, this is what that purple looks like after we bake it. Okay, so after we bake it, the glaze becomes a layer of colorful glass, and then your project will become very colorful. So to summarize, 3 layers of the colors that you want. Don't mix the brushes with different glazes. Do not glaze the inside or any part of the mask that's touching the table. So if I want to do this part of the mask, that's fine. If I want to do kind of the inside parts of the eyes, that's fine, but you don't want to do the part of the mask that's touching the table or any of the back.